one of my chickens was eaten by a possum and the other by a raccoon, and so I was researching automatic chicken door openers on the internet. I thought I had a friend who just had that timer, and it would just go up and down at the right time of day, and all my troubles would be over. We'd have to get up early or be worried about staying out late. So did a few more clicking around, and lo and behold, the author and artist for this song was from Ashland, right here. So got connected with Gene. Gene Burnett is a songwriter who's written over 500 songs since 1975. And he said he shows no sign of stopping. His songs cover a lot of different topics. The one you hear from today is about chickens. And they explore the ecology of human relationships based on the Taoist ideal of using less force and following an inner sense of rightness. So along the same lines, he's also a Tai Chi instructor. So you can talk to him about that. So, Gene, will you come on up? There you are. I lost you. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I love chickens. I live in an apartment. I can't have chickens. When my friends who have chickens, I go to them and watch the chickens because I find them incredibly entertaining. Every single thing they do, I just find that. They just say, oh, they took it down. So if you like this song, you can visit my website, geburnett.com, and find musical recordings and scroll down and find it. You can download it free. All my stuff is on my site for free, or donation. I have a tip jar. And I also have CDs with the actual song on it if you like actual CDs. So here we go, Free Range Chickens. Chicken is free to come and go. The chicken is free to find its way home.
Rapid City, South Dakota, and just outside of town they had a place called Reptile Gardens, and they had quite a few trained chickens there. One played baseball, they even had a duck that played tic-tac-toe. And I came away with this dream that someday I'd like to train a chicken to play the piano.
It's really a dramatic increase, not only in the numbers, but in the stocking density and decrease in the hygienic conditions. When a bird is outside, there are a number of factors that dramatically decrease disease risk. For example, the UV rays in sunlight are actually quite effective in destroying the influenza. And so when you have chickens outdoors, as soon as the fecal material essentially dries up, dehydrates, it's gone.
If you follow standard cleanliness protocols like washing your hands,
make sure that there's no feces on the eggs,
having a dedicated pair of shoes that you wear out to take care of your chickens,
or keep a jacket that you put on when you go out and work with your chickens and leave that there so that you can interrupt those possible routes of transmission biologically.
that'll do a huge amount to prevent any diseases from coming in.
But even should some splatter of duck manure flying over find itself in the backyard, and even if there was a virus, it would be dehydrated to death in the breeze. Sunlight would destroy it. Even should a bird, pick up the virus is not going to spread. It's not going to just have enough animals by which to transform into a variety that would be dangerous to people or dangerous to other birds.
People who dismiss chickens as being some strange oddity, I think should be around them for a while. They would discover they are a pretty interesting animal.
There's a community out there, people who love chickens.
Oh, I have these chickens, and have you ever raised these? And you're talking about the eggs, and you're talking about your coops, and you're talking about, when you were a kid, and all these stories. It's like, I almost think of it as the gay man. It's like, there was a hidden community in the gay community too. And then to think that there's others, this hidden community is a chicken community. And so now they have a place where they can go and talk about chickens.
They come running up to me most of the time when I go out to the barn because they're looking for some grain, and they learn to eat out of my hand. And they all have personalities, and that's what makes them special. They really like who they are.
Chickens have this bad rap where people think they're really dumb, and they can't do a lot of things, but they are very good at being chickens. They're very inquisitive, they have a lot of curiosity, and they're very quick, and they're very serious. Even when they're comical, they're very serious. I think maybe that's one of the things I like about a chicken. Whatever they are, that's what they are at the moment.
I'll say a little bit about the Ashland chicken ordinance. About 6 months ago, quite by accident, you could have chickens if you could have them 75 feet from your neighbor, which is almost no one has that much property in the city limits. And they believed there were only a few of us with chickens, just sort of those fringe people. Clearly, if the Grange sells 7,000 chicks in a year, there's a lot of us. If you walk down any alley, you can hear or see them everywhere in town. So it took until last month to come up with something that the city council would pass, that people could live with. Lots of different people were involved. Now the ordinance is you can have 5 chickens if you have at least 5,000 square feet in a single family home. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let duplexes or any sort of place that might be able to cooperatively, a small apartment building. But maybe we'll get to that. You have to have your coop 20 feet from your neighbor's house and at least 10 feet from your fence and property line. And that is because several people this spring unfortunately burned their chicken coops down. And one of them set a fence on fire because it was up against the fence. They had their chicks out in the coop already with a heat lamp and it wasn't set up correctly. It is really good to take a class. I will be teaching one this winter with Parks and Rec. The Grange teaches a great class over and over again, so you know what to do from the beginning. There are limits to the size of the coop in the chicken ordinance. If you're only going to have 3 or 4 or 5 chickens, it probably works. Ours takes a whole cage. That's Ashland. So, any other questions? Or?
I do.
Yeah?
Chicks starting.
That's great.
Chicks or starting chicks, please, by all means.
I can't go on Tuesday.
It could become that. There's not a really, really tight legal definition, and I'm sure it differs by state and federal, but I would look for pastured. At our co-op here in town, there are pastured eggs from hens raised on grass, and that means that they're actively managed on grass. So free range is like, here's the door, you go out and go wherever you please, right? Within a yard maybe. And if anybody here has ever seen a chicken yard, you know what happens, right? In the chickens area, right? It turns into like the moonscape. Because they eat everything green, eat everything that moves. I mean, that's what they do. And so free range can end up looking like that over the long term. What I like about pastured is that they're moved to a new area. So they get access to fresh grass on some sort of a rotating basis, new bugs, new seeds, all the things that we want them to eat and they want to eat. And they have access to it over and over again instead of wiping it out and being stuck with nothing. So pastured is a really cool term in that sense of something that I would look for. I would also look for a humane certification from a producer, and there's organizations out there that certify things humane, which is a great move in my mind if a company has gone to that work to certify and comply with that stuff.
And the cat was too aggressive, so they trapped it and took it to the county, and it was another neighbor's cat. She was very angry. She turned them in for the chickens. So my chickens were always legal, but in checking with the city, found out they were reorganizing the ordinance without telling me that.